Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for some more Guild Wars 2 gameplay. You know, I did have a couple of questions before we get into today's content. I got a lot of comments on the last video about the sound of the in-game sound being too low. Just to kind of clear some stuff up, what happened was during my gameplay sessions, I ended up recording Ventrilo for some reason in the background. So, in an effort to not have you guys listen to our vent conversations, in which you can only hear one side of, I actually am really lowering that volume to the best of my ability. So you might hear the push to talk button from times to times, or you might hear just some random chatter in the background. That's the reason for that. I do have it corrected and working for any future beta events, but I had almost 10 hours worth of footage recorded from Beta Weekend event number 2, and I don't want to unfortunately lose that stuff. So, all that being said, we'll now move on into this video's topics and discussion. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out in this video is just some of the great attention to detail that ArenaNet has done on the game world. In this section right here in this town, you're actually going to see in just a moment a conversation between an asura and a sylvari, and it's a random piece of dialogue that ArenaNet threw into the game so that these towns feel pretty alive and pretty active. It's really, really amazing. I really enjoy what they've done with the world. Again, part of the big selling point for Guild Wars was that the world was alive and active, and they've really delivered on that promise. NPCs, you know, don't just stand around and have conversations. They'll walk around a town, go stop, have a conversation, and not just disappear or go path back the way they came. They'll actually, you know, have a conversation, and then from that conversation you could maybe start a dynamic event. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the world. There were several places in the world that actually happened to me, where I would listen to two NPCs talking, having a conversation, and then I'd be curious as to know, okay, well, what's going on with this NPC that just made this statement? And so then I would follow that NPC a little ways, and after he walked off a little bit to maybe the edge of town, he would actually have a dynamic event start marker to actually go ahead and begin a conversation and begin a dynamic event.
What magnificent device is that? I want to try. It sounds utterly amazing. It sounds like something I'd use every day.
A spectral calcimeter. It measures the soil. And it's broken, so you can't use it. Ever wonder what we're doing here?
Not really. I follow Ventari's teachings, and all I have known is death. Life harbors evil, and where it goes, I conquer it.
See, that kind of stuff right there, I mean, that's just awesome. And I actually have about a half hour's worth of footage of just running around Holbrook, the Norn capital city, just recording conversations that I find. There's actually an amazing one in Lion's Arch, or excuse me, not Lion's Arch, Divinity's Reach. There's an amazing one in Divinity's Reach in which a group of kids reenact the lightning bolt LARP that was pretty popular on YouTube about 10 years ago. Which, you know, I mean, that's just fun stuff. The fact that ArenaNet would throw that in is really, really nice. So I appreciate that, and good on you, ArenaNet. The other thing that we're gonna be running into today, we actually complete a set of dynamic event chains as I get stuck on a flower. We do a set of dynamic event chains that results in a rather spectacular and difficult boss fight. So look forward to that coming up here in just a bit. But of course, we've always got to stop and chop down some more trees. I can't wait to do that in live when we actually can get to really keep our materials and not have to lose everything when they wipe our characters. Random wargs going ahead and trying to ambush us. We'll take care of that quick work, though.
I think you just die easier, yeah, because I'm still at the same life.
God, the world is just so beautiful. Again, that detail, they've really put a lot of work into making everything turn out so wonderful. And at the same time, Keikai Kataki recently announced that he is departing ArenaNet, and he did such a wonderful job with the concept art and the art of Guild Wars 2. It's really sad to see him go. We definitely wish him the best of luck in whatever endeavors he ends up doing. But yeah, you can find his handiwork all over the world, and it's a beautiful world, no doubt about it. Now this heart here, this set of dynamic events and chains that are all together, as I ignore the mob chewing on my face, these are centered around a mining complex in which some rebels are attempting to mine, and you have to go in there and clear them out, take out these turrets. You're going to see here. Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Going in unprepared like that and just thinking, oh, whatever, not a big deal. I'll just run in and, get rid of that turret. Oh, wait, there's actually a guy inside. And he's firing. And it hurts. Hey, the A rally. Quickly got to try and get out of range here. Yes, I finally do get my my healing signet off there. So you definitely have to think, getting a chance to rally like that and come back, gives you the chance to maybe think a little bit about, okay, well, what happened? Going back and re-seeing this, just brings back that, okay, that feeling of, I actually did have to stop and think about, how am I going to do this? Well, I can't get quite in close. That's not going to work. So I'm going to switch to my rifle, which I did here, and I'm going to see if I can maybe just stay outside of its range and take it down that way. Now there is actually an enemy inside that turret, and you can see he's going to start firing again at there, so I'm still not out of the range. So what am I going to do to get in and not get just hammered by this thing? Again, gotta love abusing that line of sight. Definitely a very viable tactic. Hitting the wrong buttons, of course. Not getting out of the fire. Yes, I'm a noob. But hey, we all are when it comes to Guild Wars 2 after only 2 weekends, right? Going back, that's, again, another thing to be said, is that as the more and more you play this game, the more and more it teaches you, and the better you get at the game. So now my strategy is, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get behind this so that I don't have to get attacked by it. Maybe if I can just keep it turning, then, I can be, it can stay out of its range. And in doing so, I get to go for a little magic ride. It's like a carousel of death. Now that I've gotten the NPC out of there, it's pretty harmless. So just taking him out and then being able to take out the turret is definitely a viable strategy when you come up to this area. Because without an NPC in there to man it, it'll go a lot easier. So get behind it if at all possible. Observe which way those guns are pointing, and if you can, get in there and take care of that NPC to make sure that you don't have a bad time of it like we did. Just gonna res my friend up here, and then we'll go take this thing down. Now my friend here is at the moment level 20 or 21, I believe, and I'm level 23, 24. And this dynamic event is in the 24 or 25 range, so for him it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but working together like this definitely helps, and definitely is something you want to consider if you're a little bit lower level. If you've got a group of friends or even another partner you can go in with, it'll definitely make things a lot easier. And we were able to take on events that were 3, 4, and 5 levels higher than his level, just because we were working together and playing smartly together. Now, he did die quite frequently, but that was okay. I mean, it wasn't as though we couldn't finish the event just because he was low level. And I like that. It forces both of us to learn to play better And we've actually run into some additional players, and that turret is respawned. But we've run into some additional players, and of course, seeing other players in the world is a wonderful thing. We want to see other players. You want to. Because other players will help you in this game, not hinder you. Other games that are on the market, you don't want to see another player because they're going to steal your kills. Your kills. They're gonna steal your crafting nodes, things like that. But I want to see another player in Guild Wars 2 because I know that together we're going to be a lot stronger than I am just by myself. Of course, you know, middle of combat, I gotta stop and chop down more logs. A little bit of ADHD going on there. And hey, look, we've run into another pair of players, and we're gonna try and do this together. I did find that the rifle a lot of times is, for the one-on-one situations, makes it pretty nice for kiting, and for boss fights in general too. Really helps to have that ranged option. I know that ArenaNet has stated melee damage just straight up does more damage, but with that comes a lot of risk too. You know, in order to get in close, you might get beat on a little bit. So there is a lot of risk reward to consider when getting into melee range. And of course, as the game gets optimized and performs better, you know, we won't run into these type of problems. You know, getting into melee range and being able to effectively see those red circles on the ground so that you can dodge out of them, and you know, the server lag and things like that will be significantly reduced. So there, we completed one event, and now we've got to find these guys and get them taken care of. Now what's awesome is that previous event that we did, where we had to take out the defenses surrounding the mine here, you know, that led naturally into assaulting these miners that are trying to collect material. That's awesome. This one event leads into another event, so that you can actually see a progression in the world, and that's wonderful. And of course, there's nothing quite as satisfying as chucking a giant boulder at an NPC and having it crit for 416 damage. And I really like too the fact that ArenaNet put these markers over dynamic event important NPCs. That really helps us to notice, okay, that's a guy that I need to focus on. Even if you didn't read the quest text up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, even if you were just like, you know, just casually going along and you came into this area and you didn't notice it, which, I mean, to be honest, a lot of people, myself included, will not see those from time to time as things are rapidly going by. But when you see that marker above an enemy's head, it's really a pretty solid indication of, I should probably attack that guy. That double sword thing looks important. And, you know, sure enough it is. It's something that you know, will figure out, oh, when I kill these guys, it's adding towards the dynamic event progression. Awesome, okay. So that really helps. I really appreciate that facet of the game as well. And again, look, we just randomly, my friend and I, met up with these other two players, and here we are doing the same dynamic event, working on completing these sets of events, and we didn't have to party up. I didn't have to say, hey, do you guys want to join up or join our group or anything like that. We just met each other randomly, and we could go about doing what we wanted to do. And as soon as we finish this next part of the chain, we're gonna see something really fun.
Work fast. Shipment is almost ready to move out.
Speed buffs are, of course, very nice. Warrior has a an option of getting the speed buffs on the Warhorn. So it's definitely something viable that you want to consider for especially PvP, where I know that getting those swiftness boons are very, very important for capping points and getting around the map. So, you know, if you want to be that kind of that social player, taking a Warhorn as a warrior in your offhand is a good thing to do, because you can grant weakness and swiftness. Weakness to enemies and swiftness to any of your allies. Now, before anyone comments, because I'm sure there's going to be a comment or two, you might notice during this part that I'm keyboard turning. And before you say that I'm a scrub, let me point out that I was actually on the telephone with my wife while this is going on. And as you can see, this is the kind of I think the final part of this dynamic event, and we have to attack the foreman, the bandit foreman here. Now, the bandit foreman is hiding inside this golem asura battlesuit. Yeah, he hits hard. You've got to really be careful. We've got 4 people here. I mean, we're banging away at him. But again, I'm playing this part one-handed. Again, because I was talking to my wife on the telephone. Hey, real life still happens. You know, got to do it. So I definitely didn't play as well during this part as I would like to. It'll be fun to get back in there and do this again with both hands. So those fireballs right there, you know, you definitely want to dodge out of those. Not like I did there. You want to dodge out of those and make the best use of your dodge during that part. Because, yeah, as you can see right there, those fireballs hurt. And these dynamic event chains lead one right into the other. I mean, you saw we completed that event, and immediately this foreman spawned, and we were, you know, he was right in the middle of the camp so that everyone could find him. And you got the big, of course, dynamic event marker there on his head when he popped up. And now this is the only thing that does. This right here coming up is what really, really hurts. Because as you can see, the battlesuit is going down, and all of a sudden, oh look, the boss is up at full health. So I don't know if that's a bug or if that's by design. I'm guessing it's probably a little bit of both. It's probably by design. That the boss, when he pops out of there, it's kind of a phase 2. You have to go in and take him out. And as you can see, he is a warrior wielding a hammer, and he does so to very, very good effect. We actually, right after this, he actually completely wipes our party out, unfortunately. And after doing so, the other 2 members of this group that were playing with us, the 2 random strangers that we ran into, decided not to come back and try this event again. So my buddy and I gave it a try, just doing it, and yeah, it didn't happen, unfortunately. But there you go. I mean, that's how a dynamic event chain on the positive side works in Guild Wars 2. You can push things. You know, we're in the process of forcing the bandits out of this point. You know, we start by taking out their defenses and then taking them out, and then finally the foreman shows up, and you got to try and beat him down. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck to you when you encounter this event in-game. Have a lot of fun with it. As always, a like or a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and we'll continue to bring you Guild Wars 2 gameplay footage in the days and weeks ahead. Until next time, have a good day.